Okay, another thing that's really important is brushes. Brushes are so important when you want a certain look. And I don't think people realize how important brushes are. You have to have some really, I guess, certain brushes for certain looks, or like blending brushes are so crazy important. And a lot of people don't have a blending brush. And I like cannot do my makeup without these. So I'm going to go over some of like my very favorite. These are all my brushes that I have. I have a ton, but I probably don't use all of them in every application either. I'll show you my very, very favorite ones that I have to have. My very first one that I do for my foundation is a flat Buki. Love these little guys. And this one I use every day because I use it for my liquid foundations. When you're using flat Bukis, sorry, turn down my radio a little bit. What's awesome about this is anytime you're using anything flat, it's gonna go directly from your brush to your face. Compared to something like this, it's very fluffy and dense. Something like this has different layers of brush bristles, and it will really like set inside of those. These are great for powders, but they will really give you a full coverage, and those powders will kind of set in the brush bristles a little bit more, where these ones won't set more into them because it's gonna set on top and go from that directly to your face. So this one I absolutely love. Have to have this one. My sister does carry these ones at her store, and I am such a big believer in you pay for what you get when it comes to like pretty much everything. But she just picked up a new line called Morphe brushes. I'm sure you guys have all heard of them, but they are very cheap. Like they don't cost very much, but like they shed less than my dang expensive brushes, and I like love them. So in that case, I would say that you don't pay for what you get because they're dang cheap. Like most brushes like this, I would say are around like 40, 50 bucks. They go all the way up to 80 bucks. This little guy is like 10 bucks at her store. And I don't know if I told you this at the very beginning, but anything that you guys see in these tutorials, if you go to her store, she will give you 20% off if you tell her that you watch the videos and are supporting her. And if you tell her that you watch these tutorials from her little sister Jordan, that's me, that she'll give you 20% off. So please support her. There are a couple things that I use that she doesn't carry in her store, but pretty much everything that you see here, you can find stuff that is really close to that. But yeah, it's really important for me and for her. Like we did just get a Sephora and Ulta in, and I just would love if you guys would support her too. So you do get 20% off if you do go to Caladora. It's right across the street from Cabela's, and she has the cutest little store with lots of fun stuff. So any brushes or anything like that that you need, go in and tell her that you watched these, and she said she'd give you 20% off. So anyways, besides all that, this is an awesome brush. I use that one in every application. I use a lot of flat Bukis. I love these ones for contouring, and in the videos I'll kind of explain each brush as I go. This one's a little bit more dense than that first one. I use this one for my contour as well, my powder contour, not my cream contour, because I'll chisel that side out and then blend with the flat edge for the areas that I need to blend. Love this one. This one's by Morphe as well. They just came out with this set. This one I use for my cream contour. I have two that I really like for my cream contour. This little guy, which I really like this one too, because you can really get in and chisel that out and then take that area and do that. Same kind of thing as like with this one. I use this one. It's got the stifling brushes up top. So I use that one for my cream contour. These ones are both awesome. I want to say they're like right around 10 bucks too. I love this one. This one I use. This one is actually, I think, by Crown Brush, but I'm pretty sure Morphe has one like this too. C450. I use this one for my under eye to pat it in. I honestly don't know if that's what it's really supposed to be for, but I like it for that because it has like that fine tip, and so I can really get under my under eye, so I love it for that. I have another smaller one that really gets in there that's double-ended, but I mean, they're the same. I use them both of them. The other one that I love is just like this flat edge brush. I use this one for my base colors because it just is bigger than most and it swipes on really easy. This one's actually by MAC 252, MAC 252. It just is awesome for like that base color to swipe that color on real quick. It gets it done fast and good. So that one I really like a lot. You have to have a good blending brush. These blending brushes, like this one's by Smashbox, so it's a little bit more spendy than the Morphe. But in all honesty, I mean, there's the Morphe, there's the Smashbox. They're so stinking similar. And this one's probably around 20, 30 bucks. This one's probably like 5 bucks. So, I mean, they're pretty much the same. So I would go recommend going and getting this one. This one, as you'll see in the tutorials, I'll kind of teach you as you go. Have to have this brush. Like, it is a must. You have to have this brush. If you don't have it, you need to go get it. Because this is the way that you get that really soft, blended out look. You can't use any other brush to get this look, like, as far as, like, the soft blending. So, gotta go get those, like, for sure. They are amazing. These little guys are awesome, too. They're very dense. So, the more dense they are, the more product they will pack on. So, these ones are great for when you do, like, that dark in the corner. Love these. This one's by Smashbox too. I don't know what number it is. I use it so much it's probably rubbed off. I mean, the Morphe does have them too, so I mean they're pretty much the same. But like as you can see, I like literally have probably like 10 of these little guys because I just can't have enough of them, and I switch colors a lot. And so when I'm doing different applications, I like to have clean ones so that when I dip in black, I don't have to clean it to do a brown. But I have a bunch of them. And I have a ton of, like, just the ones that you use for your basic powders because I change different colors so much. They're just, like, regular flat brushes, kind of, like, I use these ones mainly for the lid. I don't go above the lid on those. But I do have a bunch of those as well. I mean, I have a ton of them. But I switch my colors so often, especially if I'm doing, like, a great big bridesmaid line, you know, that I don't have to constantly re-clean my brushes if I'm doing golds and then I'm, you know, switching it up, whatever. Those are really important. You don't need a ton of those. You know, you don't have to have like 10 of them, but you do want like at least 2. I mean, I would say 2. I'm a makeup junkie, so maybe you only need 1. But this one I absolutely love too. This is by Kaylin. I explained this in the tutorial too. Love this because you can get all those little areas that you normally couldn't get with brushes, the big fat ones. Like around the nose, right here, the forehead. I just love this one. It's awesome. And it honestly kind of feels like a sponge. It's very like, I don't know, like super soft. I don't know, I like it. I like this one. This one's by Morphe, I believe, too. But this one's just like a powder brush. Like, you'll notice the powder ones are very soft and fluffy. This one I use for my setting powders, so I'll just kind of softly blend it in. Love that one. Blush brushes. I mean, here's another flat buki I use for powders. My blush brushes, I have a couple different ones. This is the one that I use for cream. The cream blushes because it's like has the stiples that I like, so I can kind of stipple that cream in. And then I'll go ahead and set it over top with, this one's by Bare Minerals, like a tapered blush. I mean, just like a regular blush brush. But I like those ones for, you know, just for your blush. And I use those ones for my highlight, my shimmer powder highlight at the end. Not my cream highlight, but my powder highlight. Let's see. What other ones do I love in this great big lovely jar of mine? My mother-in-law was going to get rid of this great big glass thing. She's like, I'm going to take this to the DI. Do you want this? I'm like, are you kidding me? How cute is that? I love it. So it's probably like a, I don't know, like probably used to be like a dish for food, but I use it for my brushes and I love it. Other than that, oh, I like these ones. These are, okay, these are what most people use for like foundation brushes, and I don't know why in the world you'd use these for foundation brushes. Like, they are so stripy. So like if you stripe your liquid foundation on and you're striping it in strokes, like super streaky. So I don't know why people use these for the foundation unless you're going to apply it and then take a beauty blender over top of it and blend it. That makes sense. But if you were to just use this little bad boy, you would have a streaky face. So I don't know why they say that these are foundation brushes. I've never used them for foundation unless I go over and blend it with a different brush or a beauty blender, which, whatever. But I do like these ones. You'll see in all the tutorials I said what I use these different brushes for. I like them here, you know, like to, I would apply this for the under eye too as well if it didn't have, the one that I like has kind of the applicator, so I don't have to do that. But if I were to dip it in like a concealer that didn't have that, I'd use these. Another brush. The other brushes that I have a ton of because I mean I use them for brows, but I use different color brow stuff all the time, are those little chiseled out brow brushes. They have product all over them, so don't worry about it. But I love these. You can use them for like gel liner too when you're doing the wing. You want a very fine tip. So those are awesome, but I use them for brows too. When I'm using the pomades or powder brushes too, if you're doing the powders, because it gives you a really crisp line. I have a couple of them. I have like 3 or 4 of them, but I have to have 3 or 4 of them because I use these numerous times in an application. These I like a lot. Another one that I always use is that really dense, skinnier one compared to those fatter ones. It's just a little bit skinnier, I guess, but I love that because I use it for the corner and it will get exactly where I need to go. And gosh, I mean, those are honestly my super favorite ones. I use this one a lot. This one's my Smashbox. It's got makeup all over it, but it's very skinny, and so I use it for, like, I chisel the brow out with it, or if I'm doing creams before I do the powders, this is awesome for that. I use it to apply my primer, my eye primer as well, so I like those. I mean, other than that, there's tons of different brushes, but those are my favorite ones. I mean, if you need like a lip brush, there's like the lip brushes, but I mean, most people just apply their lipstick. Other than that, those are my ones that I feel like I use on almost every single application, and I love them. But, oh, and this little guy's kind of nice too. This is like a great big flat bookie, but it's a stipling one. So if I ever don't have my beauty blender and I can't find my beauty blender, which is this little guy, if I can't find it, I will go ahead and blend out those brush strokes. If there's any kind of brush strokes afterwards, I'll take this, and I don't swirl, I don't swipe, I literally like pat this in, and it takes away any of those stripes. So that's kind of nice. Those are what those ones are made for. Other than that, those are what I use for most of my applications for my brushes. So yeah, most of them you can get over at Caleidora for 20% off. Tell them to check out the Morphe first because they're the cheaper ones. If you can't find them, there's like a ton of different lines there that you can use, but they might be a little bit more expensive. So yeah, those are the applicators I use. So if there's any questions on certain numbers, I wasn't very good about showing you the exact number because they're all from different lines. Like this one's MAC 213, 219, but all of mine are literally from all different lines. So, and they don't have to be from different lines or the same line, just ones that are like somewhat similar. So if you guys do have any questions on them, I don't know, comment below, I guess. I mean, I'm kind of new at this tutorial thing. I think you'll be able to comment below. So if you can comment below, and I'll answer your questions. So yeah, so after I show you the applicators, you'll see when I start to do the tutorials oh my gosh, why they're so important, and I'll show you which ones I use as we go. So yeah, so this will be good. Follow along.